The call came at 2:12 a.m. First, there was static, then shallow, broken breathing, and finally, her voice, strained, trembling, almost unrecognizable. "Where is it?" That was all she said. No hello, no apology, no mother asking about her son. Just that one question, ripped from her throat like it had been choking her. I didn't answer. I just stared at the phone screen glowing in the dark, flickering like it had something to confess. The light painted shapes on the ceiling, shadows dancing in corners I hadn't looked at in weeks. My son's bedroom door was slightly ajar. The hallway nightlight cast a soft golden spill across the floor, touching the tips of his socks. I could hear her breathing still on the other end, panicked, shallow, real. I hung up. The silence that followed felt like justice stretching its fingers. It began 2 weeks ago. She was folding laundry in the living room, our son's socks, my shirts, while texting someone saved her phone as mirror. She laughed. Too loud, too freely. Her thumbs moved across the screen like muscle memory. Our son was upstairs, humming to himself, building Lego towers. Safe, unaware. I said nothing then, but something shifted inside me. Something fine and crucial snapped. An invisible thread I didn't know had been holding us together. That night, by force of habit, I checked the college fund account. Empty. Every dollar in the 529 plan gone. No alerts, no flags, no warnings, just transaction logs. One name, Leandro Seafood and Travel, followed by a string of Zelle transfers to masked IDs. When I confronted her the next morning, she didn't panic. She smiled small, composed, and said she'd moved it to a higher yield investment. I looked at her for a long time, waiting for the mask to fall, for her real face to show, but nothing cracked. So I said simply, "Okay." And I waited. No shouting, no accusations, just quiet observation. I began tracking the little things. Her sudden love of hiking, the new gym routine, mileage on the car before and after she left. Then I found it, a burner phone, hidden in the glove compartment beneath a crumpled protein bar wrapper. On it, photos, messages, proof, his arms wrapped around her. Her smile bright, unguarded, but not for me. That night, I sat in the kitchen, the screen in my hand glowing cold. Our son stood in the hallway, watching, holding the old stuffed fox she used to cuddle when she read to him at bedtime. I whispered, "I'm sorry." He just shrugged. "It's fine," he said. "I fixed everything." I didn't understand. He turned around and went back to bed. Slept like the world wasn't breaking apart beneath our feet. I began making calls. Quietly. Talked to the bank. Checked for recovery options. It was all gone. Irrevocable. But the burner phone, that was useful. I cloned it. Sent a few messages. From her to him. From him to her. Just enough to shift trust. To plant suspicion. Then I waited. The confirmation came not through whispers or texts, but in an email. Subject line, transfer to offshore account complete. Not from her inbox, from his. She hadn't just betrayed me. She gave him everything, every cent, every lie, every secret. And he left her. The betrayal was so complete. It was almost beautiful in its precision. I printed everything. Screenshots, transaction logs, photos, placed them neatly in a manila envelope. Left it on her side of the bed. 2 days later, she returned. Hair frizzy, skin sunburnt, mascara smudged like smoke under her eyes. She saw the envelope, opened it, didn't speak. Just sat down on the edge of the bed, fingers trembling, her mouth parted slightly, like she'd forgotten how to breathe. I stood in the doorway. "I know everything," I said. She looked up slowly. He said he'd move it somewhere safe. I said nothing. There was no use correcting the dying. She packed in 15 minutes. Threw clothes into a duffel. Didn't cry. Didn't plead. She tried to touch our son on the way out. He pulled back. "Don't," he said. And that was when he cried. Not when she left. When she reached for him. The next morning, I logged into the emergency access account. One she never knew existed. The college fund wasn't lost. Not really. I had split it months ago, without a word, just in case. Half invested in crypto, locked behind biometric security in my personal safe. The other half in a trust, tied irrevocably to our son's name. The account she drained, a decoy, a shadow, a shell designed to be stolen. And the messages I sent from her burner, the ones that made him think she was planning to betray him, worked like poison. He took everything and vanished. She lost it all before she even knew the game had started. Now, sometimes she calls, not in panic anymore, but in despair. Hollow, wandering. I never answer. But I don't block her either. Some ghosts deserve the burden of their own echoes. Yesterday, my son and I planted tomatoes in the backyard. He asked, "Do bad people always get what they deserve?" I said, "No." He thought for a second, then smiled. "But sometimes they do." I nodded. "Yeah," I said, "sometimes they do."